Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Hello, Linda, Angel, Rachel. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully everyone's doing well. Been a wild evening or day yesterday of news going on. Trump said a lot of things in his most recent whatever that was, press conference, I guess, at his desk. I can't wait until the day that the news gets boring. This repetitive nonsense is exhausting. Yeah. I mean, I agree. That's why I've been having trouble making content, because I feel like I'm saying a bunch of the same stuff again and again and again and again and again, and it's exhausting. I'm doing okay. Yeah. I'm glad the weekend's coming. Means it's about a week, little over a week and a half. My trip is happening, which is also exciting. A little nerve-wracking because I'm doing something that I haven't done before. In a way, I've never done it. So that's a little, but Vance's chief of staff. What about Vance's chief of staff? Wait, what? Oh, there you go. Leaving at the end of the summer. Did he say why? Oh, he's gonna miss him dearly. Hearing the statements by all the people in the cabinet, you'd think he was the most amazing man ever. Somehow I don't feel like that's really the case. My biggest thing that pissed me off was Trump saying that he's considering not leaving, or he's considering leaving the USMCA completely, not renewing it, saying that we don't need anything from either of those countries. Oh, God. Morning, Jeremiah. Morning, Laura. Morning, Silver. Vance's chief of staff is leaving at the end of the summer. Jeremiah. Morning, DG. Happy Friday. Anyone got any fun plans for this weekend? Oh my gosh, it's already 10. What happens when I get going late? I didn't get to post anything because I'm struggling so much to make content right now. Because I feel like I got so much to say. I don't know if I can put it into a short enough video that it will get views. And it's like, there are days where I feel like I'm wasting my time if I make it too long. You see Vance? I didn't see Vance is going to be on The View. Somehow that doesn't surprise me. Same thing I do every weekend. That's fair. They're trying to separate Vance from Trump now. That's not a surprise. Something clearly behind. Oh, yeah, of course. Morning, Lori. We are all experiencing burnout. And it's tough. Morning, Phantom. Morning, Catherine. After visiting my 5 grandchildren, I think I'll sleep a lot. Heck yeah. Yep. I don't think it's going to work. Vance is just so unlikable. He has a personality of a garbage disposal. True. I know. The Dow. It's the Dow. You know, having money in the Dow sure does help your ability to afford things now. Hello, Queen Lady T. I guess he's going to be there to promote his book about his faith. Oh. The sad thing is people will buy it. I'm hoping the song that I co-wrote with a friend of mine is going to be coming out soon. Is he gone yet? No, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Morning, Laura. Thank you, everyone, for the heart me's and the populars and everything. Sorry, I couldn't resist. I think whatever you said got filtered, Phantom, unfortunately. Because this app is frustrating as hell right now. Hey, meme. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, the vice president does a lot. That's what they seem to think about Kamala Harris. Oh. Yeah, I didn't see either of those. Sorry. Guys, if you're over here on TikTok, please tap that nose. The faster it goes up, the more people that are tapping, the more this gets pushed out to. Morning, OC. Happy Friday. TGIF. Seems to get edited. I mean, that's not totally true, Vonda. Anytime I go into like different lives, I'll say hello, like good morning, and I'll get filtered. So I don't know if it's just me or what. It could be me, as far as I know. Probably on a list somewhere. And hello, friend. I'm not big enough to be on that dangerous leftist influencer list on the White House page, but getting 3 days off? Hell yeah. The biggest thing that pisses me off, other than all of this stuff, is Trump's statement about potentially not renewing the USMCA. Greetings, fellow non-AI organic being. Wonder if that gets filtered. Nope, it didn't. It didn't. We got you. Hey, Stu. Guys, there are 50 of you on here. Please tap that nose. If each of you do like a few hundred taps, it'll push it out to more people. Hunter has low-key become my favorite person. I mean, it does feel good to watch anyone fighting back, so... Hey, Bonnie. But yeah, his statements... Am I implying that he lied 39 times? No, I'm saying it straight up. Graduating with your master's degree in 2 hours? Hell yeah, congratulations. What's your master's in, Zorgo? What's funny is, if you've seen the 14-point memorandum of whatever of agreement, if they get that, it would be wild. It would be wild, because if he says that the friggin' JCPUA, whatever the heck it's called, is bad, what the deal that Iran is saying they want. Hey, Securitron. That's cool that you know Silver. JCPOA, thank you. Might be another 2 weeks. Yeah, more like 2 years. This channel just randomly popped up in your algorithm? Well, welcome. Welcome. Have you noticed that Turning Point is now focused on women's groups? Yes. Have you seen the video? Guys, I'm just dumbfounded. There is video out there, interview of multiple women saying straight up that they would be okay with losing the right to vote. Are you friggin' serious right now? Losing. They're okay with it. This one woman actually said straight up, yeah, I'd be okay if my daughter lost her right to vote because I know she's going to marry a Christian man. Do you now? On some good news, you got a new couch? Hell yeah. All right, man. I appreciate it. Like what the actual F? Thing is, 40th claim is going to be right. Oh, is that it? 40th claim is going to be right. Okay. But it's like these women are like, oh, I have a great relationship with my husband. I'd be okay with him being the only person that votes. It's like, I have a great relationship with my wife. Why the hell would I want to take away her vote? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You choose to vote the same way that your husband does? That's your right. But why take away your right to vote? Like the fact that it's a jump from, you know, I choose to not vote. Or I choose to vote the same as my husband. Like those two are acceptable options. I don't like either of them. Like just voting the way your husband votes or your wife votes just because feels like a dumb reason. You should know why you're voting for who you're voting. But if I would rather like just do that, but sit here and say, nah, we don't need the right. Why do they feel the need to take it away from other women? So here's the thing, Silver, and I can't speak exactly for them, but this is the impression that I got while they were talking. And I've seen other people talk about it. It's this obsession with the traditional family. So if you make it so women can't vote, then they're going to start getting married again and having traditional families. It's the women voting, women having the kind of rights that they have are the reason that the traditional family is gone. My wife votes the same way I do because we talk about who we're voting for and why before. Oh yeah, sure, same. But I don't tell my wife who to vote for. If we left it up to Christian men, no offense, but we'd probably. No, you're right, Silver. There's no offense taken. No offense taken at all. The husband would need to make at least 200,000 a year. Yeah. I mean, hey, Mama Bear. Guys, if you're over here on TikTok, please tap that nose. Also, join the fan club, share out the live, help grow this. And also, if you're not following over on the tube, just so you know, I got live over there also before I go live here. And I'm also interviewing tons of cool people. Mention 2A and they lose their minds. Mention anything about women's rights and their responses, whatever. Yeah. You just tapped 2.3K. I appreciate you, OC. I appreciate you. Just copying the link to share helps too. Yeah. But again, I mean, that pissed me off for obvious reasons. There's just a lot of things that are pissing me off about people that look like me right now. The reactions to what's going on in Belfast is a stark example of the problem of people that look like me. Hey, Susan. Oh, I appreciate that, Silver. Getting people to go over to the tube has definitely been difficult. So this is what you wanted. What is what I wanted? What did I want? It's anyone who has anyone of different skin color other than mine. They don't even care how long you've been there. Pretty much they're against anyone with any skin color. That's what the rioting is about. That's awesome, Silver. I'm glad your wife is working again. A lot of that going around, unfortunately. And that's the thing. It was that mentality is the problem. Again, and this is I made a video about it, but I'll talk about it here too. Racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia. When it comes to all of those the thing that pisses me off is if someone who looks like me does something wrong, a lot of other people that look like me are like, oh, that's just that person. That's just that one person. That's an isolated incident. But when anyone from a marginalized community does something, people that look like me look at the entire group as the problem. He just announced the deal is over. Of course it is. See you, Gump. Making everything about race will not stop racism. It's true. But complaining when the problem is actually race isn't helping the problem either, Steve. In order to actually fix it, yeah, there's a lot of different things that need to happen. But as long as people that look like me keep doing things against other groups, it's still a problem. Ignoring it doesn't work either. Correct. Again, the problem we're dealing with right now is it is a systemic problem. The problem right now is it's gotten so much, it has become such a part of society, especially with people that look like me, that it's not as easy as just going, oh, we're not that anymore. And what's going on in Belfast, stuff that's going on in this country, stuff that's going on in countries everywhere, is an example of how it's not really done. If you consider blaming all immigrants because one immigrant does something wrong, that's a problem. All the people that are getting turned away from the US when they just want to come to the World Cup. Yup. Now they're trying to make a rule that you can't, that influencers, if they come in, you can't make money. If you come in as an influencer from another country to try and make money off being at the World Cup, you'll get kicked out. It's like, what the fuck? No, the president did. DHS did. Real talk, how did we get here? I mean, there's a bunch of things that got us here. It wasn't one particular thing. I still don't think anyone should go to the World Cup. But yeah, Dustin, there's a lot of things that got us here, unfortunately. It wasn't just one thing. It was the fact that this country, you know, at the time that it was built, was built on the backs of racism. It just was. And we never really worked our way out of it. We put some things in place that started the process of getting out of it, but as you can see, we never got out of it. I don't know. My mom passed away a long time ago, Jeff. It is 1,000% better than back then. I disagree. Better is a relative term. And Europe is still dealing with it to some extent, Vonda. No mercy. The idea that you actually said let racism die, the fact that you don't realize what you said is kind of hilarious. You understand that again, better is relative. Women are losing their life because of laws that were made about their pregnancy, to the point where they cannot get treated when something happens and they are losing their life. How is that better? You think slavery is the only thing that signifies racism? You think that's it? Again, do you think drinking from different, having to drink in different places is the only thing that signifies racism? What do you mean, what percent? Why does there have to be a percent? If anyone is dying because of it, that's a problem. You think there's an acceptable percentage? Oh my gosh. Goodbye. In America? No. Definitely not in America. I am, and there have. What does a percentage matter? If a law that was created is causing it to happen, that's all that matters. You think because something isn't like a majority, that means everything is fine? Claiming racism doesn't exist is racist. That is true. What if I told you? You would have to prove to me that it was the actual act of the AB that caused them to lose their life. Easy? No, it's not. And then you would have to show me a law that made that possible. That required them to have an AB. No, there is a law that does not allow you to get one, and that is causing women to lose their life. So you're saying there has to be a law. If AB is a choice, what do you mean what law? There are laws in tons of states. What do you mean what law? You don't care about specifics. Stop pretending you care. Jeez. See what? Nothing to see. When you say be specific, it shows you don't care. There's been literally hundreds of known cases where women have lost their life because of laws in places like Texas. It's not in question. It's not a lie. It's a fact. Women have also, yeah, hundreds. Across the country? Yeah. Many women have lost their life or have lost their ability to have children because of the laws. Ah, Why would Kevin and Steve stop talking? They know more about women than women do. Come on. We all know that men know way more about what women need and want than women do. I can't get a woman in my life. Man, my wife of 20 years would seem to disagree with that, Kevin. Hey, Garpu. That's all you guys got, right? You got an insult? And for you, it's all, you think you're going to attack my manhood? Y'all are children. You don't care about facts. You believe that facts are subjective. Oh, Steve, I'm done talking with you. You don't care. You think you know it all. You probably call yourself a Christian, too. Oh, yeah. Cooked. A man who I have no idea who they are with no profile picture. He thinks I care about what he thinks. You don't care. You don't care about people. You don't care about anything. Why would I care about you? You've been respectful? Okay. Congratulations. Not to women, you haven't. I'm not bringing you up. Bring me up. Give me a break. And you'll never bring up anyone who can debate you because you can't fight them. I don't debate. This isn't a debate. It's not a debate that women are losing their lives because of the laws made in some of these states. It's not a debate. You think it's a debate, but it's not. There are some things in the world that are worth debating. That's not one of them. The fact that you think it's a lie is why I would never bring you up. It's not even in question. That's why I think it's hilarious when you guys want to talk about facts. Probably also thinks that all the elections are stolen too. I mean, again, if he came in and said, "I haven't heard that. Can you show me where it talks about that?" Maybe I would have helped him with information. But they didn't. They just came in with it saying, "That's a lie, prove it," and saying all these other things. As though asking what percentage of people have lost their life, as though that matters. A law is causing people to lose their life. Sometimes women that want to have kids. Like, the women that have lost their life are not like, these are women that aren't like didn't want to have kids and were forced to keep it. They're women that were trying to have children. What's the wholesale inflation? So the wholesale inflation is the cost for the people that buy at wholesale. So the wholesale goods. Hello. Where's the music? So I go live now on the Tube of You and TikTok at the same time. And I can't play music or I will get demonetized over on the Tube, unfortunately. ProPublica has a well-researched article on women dying in Texas after the bans. Yep. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Ghost. You don't have to go now. That guy's an idiot. You can go hang out somewhere else. I know. But yeah, for everyone in here, if you haven't been tapping, please start tapping, because the more different people that tap, the more I get pushed out to other people. Also, keep sharing. Thank you for everyone that joined the team and the fan club and all that other stuff. If any community people want to come up, you're more than welcome to. I don't know if we got any community people that normally would come up, but morning, Catch. You're gonna come up one day? Heck yeah. Have a great day. Gotta go. All right. Good luck. And again, it's just, for me, the problem is this. Hello.
Hey, sweetie, how are you this morning?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing pretty good for someone who just goes on lives with diarrhea coming out of my mouth, apparently. It's like, wow, I'm famous. How exciting. Like,
Uh,
I fucking care what he thinks.
well, I mean, it's the same as the other people that are like, you just can't get a woman or all this other dumb stuff. And it's like,
Or, oh, I don't know. AB isn't killing people in the state of Texas where I literally live.
it's like, again, any one of you, if you don't want to have an AB, don't. All for it. You shouldn't have to get one if you don't want to. That's the difference. That's the part that people don't get. The difference is there's no law that says that you have to get an AB.
Nope.
But
not
there are
even
laws that make it so you can't get one when it's necessary too. And again, I disagree that there should be any limitations, but the fact that these laws are also causing people that want to have the child, they aren't sitting here going, oh, I waited until my kid was, 8 months in the womb and I just decided, I don't feel like doing it anymore. Like, these people are going to be heartbroken and crushed by the fact that they are losing their child for whatever reason. And these are the ones that are suffering the most from this. And that's the part that nobody gets.
I have a little experience in this department. My first pregnancy when I was 26 years old was ectopic. And I was in Lubbock, Texas during that time. When I went to my doctor, they didn't let me leave the office. They took me in an ambulance across the street to the University Medical Center. And that I was not really given a choice because they said you're not going to make it if you go home. Like, that's not, we literally can't let you leave the office. So that being said, if the same thing happened to me today, you know what they would have to tell me? Until there's no heartbeat, you have to go home.
Yep.
Until you're septic, you have to go home.
Yep.
Until your fallopian tube has ruptured open and you are bleeding out internally, you have to go home. And good luck getting back to the hospital in time.
Mm-hmm.
Best of luck for you.
And again,
so when these people talk so stupidly and say the things that they're saying, it takes every last little bit of my fur and it just spikes it the wrong direction.
Yep. And again, this to an extent goes back to my statement regarding what's going on in Belfast. If you are someone who looks like me and and you hear that a man did, I'm just going to say it because I don't care at this point. And you see that and you hear that a man raped a woman, and you go and you defend it. Either you defend men or you defend that man in any way, shape, or form. But you hear that an immigrant did something horrible, or a black man did something horrible, or a trans woman did something horrible, or a trans man did something horrible, or a member of the LGBTQ community did something horrible, or a woman did something horrible, and your knee-jerk reaction is to make a law against everybody in that community, you are the problem. That is the problem. That's what racism looks like. That's what sexism looks like. That's what transphobia and homophobia looks like.
The people who are still in denial are never going to accept those words because it never applies to them personally.
Well, and that's why they're getting super bizarro crazy about it right now, because they're worried that at some point that whether they actively did it or not, how they view marginalized communities will then get turned on them. That's why you're seeing this massive fear of, that's why you're hearing these dumbass ideas of white racism and all this other stuff. It's not because it actually exists, it's because they're scared as hell that these marginalized communities, which are growing, are going to then end up being in charge and turn around and treat them like they have been treated since the dawn of time.
Which probably is not a reality, but even if it were, I kind of would have to say that
Well, and
maybe we need that for a little while so we can learn some lessons about how to treat people.
and you know what? Some people will. And again, will I love it? Will I love the experience of being treated the way marginalized communities have been treated? No, of course I won't. And I'd be stupid to say I would. Nobody wants that.
No, none of us do. But it's just, it's fair.
Inflation
You want to
will
talk
not.
about fair? It's fair.
Inflation will not stop shrinking. Will not start shrinking soon. In fact, oil companies just yesterday told Trump that gas prices are going to start skyrocketing very soon. Like skyrocketing. And also the problem is not just inflation, because inflation always happens. We've always said that. The problem is inflation is now, has been and is now massively outpacing people's wages to the point that people can less and less afford to survive. All right, see ya. There are things that will happen that will cause inflation that have nothing to do with anything a president chooses to do.
Well, and we expect that type of inflation. We do, because we know that things are volatile. We know the markets are volatile. We know the oil production is volatile. And one little thing can go wrong, a plant shut down, our prices go up. We know that's going to happen.
Yep. And again, arguably, at this point, I wouldn't support any war. But do I believe sometimes they happen and sometimes they cause problems? Sure. This one was unneeded. This was unnecessary. No one else supported the data that this administration supposedly had. Not our allies. No one. Only one other country believed what this president thought was happening was actually happening. Only one other country. Nobody else. And if we think that our intelligence is so much better than the intelligence of every other country around the world, I'm sorry, we've lost our minds. Which you could say we have. Mr. Global was asked to Capitol Hill to talk to some of the representatives. Yeah, I heard that. Mr. Global is a great resource.
He's very calming when he speaks. And even though what he has to say is freaking terrifying, if you know what the oil market does to the rest of the world and to every other price that we have, all the way from our groceries to our housing.
Yep.
But he calms me when he speaks. I don't know how it works.
Here's the thing, and he talked about actually why because he was asked about why the prices have been going down right now, even though it's blatantly obvious that he's been lying about there being deals. And basically he's like, they're just selling off right now. And they're buying into other things. Like, people just aren't buying into the oil
They're
into the oil
draining our
market right now.
reserves, though. He's draining our reserves. Our gas right here, Mike, is $3.39 a gallon.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Well,
Holy shit, that's not possible.
and and but what he said was once the shit hits the fan when it comes to the realities of or the global oil supply, excuse me, they'll start buying again, and it's gonna skyrocket because they will make money off of that. They want to buy in when they think it's gonna go up. They're just waiting. It's basically in wait mode right now because
Do you think, or do you not think that the low gas prices that we're having right here in Texas is trying to keep uh, Hot Wheels and his crew in office so they can say, look, we've kept our prices low here? I mean, you see what everybody else is saying that their gas prices are? Our gas is $3.39 a gallon. Tell me he's not trying to keep us calm and settled.
I mean, sure. I mean, we know they'll use any excuse they can to try and put a good spin on something horrible, which is why you got people coming in and be like, my gas is going down already. It's like, yeah, but it's still higher than it was, and it's going to stay higher than it was. When people come in and you go and gas goes up to $5 a gallon and then it goes down to $4.50 and they're like, look, it's going down. It's like, yeah, but it went up and it's still higher than it was. Like, what are you doing? They're trying to price us out of existence. I don't think they're trying to do anything. That's the problem. The only thing they're trying to do is make themselves money. Again, this is why I think it's hilarious when anyone says America benefits from oil from people buying American. They don't. Oil companies benefit when people buy from America. Americans don't. We don't have a national, we don't nationalize our energy. The only people that benefit really are the companies and the stockholders.
Holy crap, Mike. Gravel said he got gas for $3.11 right near Dallas this morning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not worth 20 cents for me to drive over there to get gas an hour away, but that's great.
And you know what? A lot of people are talking about ways that they can make it they can make it cheaper for people. You're seeing a lot of people talking about cutting their gas taxes in local and stuff like that in order to, or lowering it at least to try and reduce the costs. And again, this is people don't seem to realize. And again, I understand it, but oil is down 30% in the last month. It's still higher than it was before the war started, and it's not going to go down much more than what it's at.
No, I think it's going to jump astronomically here after the election. I really do.
It is currently at West Texas oil is still over 85. Yeah, it's still over 85. That's $20 more a barrel than it was before the war started. $20. This is a Doomer live? No, it's a reality live. We talk reality here. You saying it's down means nothing when it's still up. How are we saving any money when we're still spending more money? It's still up over 30% of what it was.
Henning, I think that person's a bot.
I'm
They have
sure it is.
49 followers and they follow 49 people exactly. So,
Yeah, you think oil prices rise up 35% and go down 35% all the time? All right. But Mike, I know, Philip, the Biden administration. I know. I also remember this administration saying that he was going to make energy cheaper, that he was going to make cost of living cheaper. You know what hasn't gotten any cheaper? Because it's not just oil prices. Because things like diesel doesn't come from American oil. It comes from Canadian oil or Middle Eastern oil. But we're also losing access to things like fertilizer. BS. Grocery stores are taking advantage of. They can lower prices. I don't think they can as much as you think they can. I've worked in a grocery store for a long time. Are there some things that they probably can? Sure. But I don't think you realize what most grocery stores run on a very low profit margin for most of their products. Well, if you are someone who could barely BS, I worked for the big boys. They can lower them. Okay. Okay. It's all ending. I never said it's all ending. And again, if you're one of those people that is living paycheck to paycheck because of how expensive things are, what do you expect them to think? How do you expect them to feel? What kind of a future do you expect from them? People that are working multiple jobs and still can't afford to survive because of how expensive everything is. You sound like someone who's privileged and thinks everything is going to be fine because it's fine for you. No, I work. You think people don't work? You think the people that are barely surviving don't work? Ugh. 50% of the country is living paycheck to paycheck. 50%. You think 50% of the country doesn't work? You'll scare them with stats. I know. I know. They won't believe him anyways. We do not have 22 weeks left of oil. Oil doesn't run out. We keep bringing in more oil. But it will cause prices to go up because we will struggle is when natural disasters happen. WTI 85. Yup. And it was 65 before the war started. What's your point? They are only ultra wealthy because they all agree that they are ultra wealthy. We as a society could make them almost penniless overnight if we all decided to no longer accept their fake wealth. Especially banks, yeah. If banks stop letting people take loans based on their wealth, and people and these people were required to actually like sell their stocks to pay for things. Morning, Patty. When oil execs give warnings, it's going to get worse than what they admit to. It's probably true. At least it has the potential to. Too many people think that they will become the 1%. That's the other thing. Too many people think that they will become the 1%. Right now, I am able to work OT at my job, but someone's got to be home with the kiddo. Yep. I mean, some people can get somewhat close to it. If you are the one in a, billion person who happens to win the lottery when it's at like $1 billion. You cannot earn $1 billion. That is true. You have a better shot at getting struck by lightning. That is also true. I always fantasize about winning the lottery, yet never play, and nor should we. I think we all should stop playing the lottery. I think people should stop playing the lottery. I think it's ridiculous. I know it's not going to happen because, again, too many people have been. Oh, yeah, it's absolutely a tax on the poor. Rich people don't play the lottery, poor people do. It's just another way to take money from poor people. Absolutely. 100%. They're playing on the idea that you might get rich. Just another carrot on a stick. Yeah, it really is. Oh, yeah. If you go from being poor to super wealthy, I have heard a lot of things from a lot of people about, like, most people either lose their money really fast or they end up not living very long. Because most people don't know how to handle having that kind of money. I mean, I don't play, but that's why I always said if I ever did, I would give most of it away. Like, I would not keep most of it. And I would keep working. You'd have to average 14.3 million spending nothing. Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. You would bring interest in voting up? Seriously. The amount of, and that's the crazy thing, if you think about it. It's like the amount of money that we are wasting on some of the dumbest things. We could literally take that and get people out of poverty. There is no new peace agreement, Lonzo. There never was. My understanding is it's already been, some people have already come in and said that it's been rejected. And it never existed to begin with. It was a memorandum of understanding that Iran sent to the United States. If you saw it, you would have known that it was going to be rejected. The problem is the United States has no real bargaining power. Yeah, I was thinking a lot about what I would do specifically with the money. Like, I think what I would do if I won a lot of money is I would start, like, I would give it to people to start businesses, but not as an investment to get money back. No real bargaining power. Are you simple? Well, that statement's pretty dumb, so I think that's the pot calling the kettle black. But no, they don't have any real bargaining power. Iran owns the Strait of Hormuz. I think my biggest issue with wealthy people is the need to get money back when they invest, when it's money they don't need. Like, a billionaire giving $100,000 to someone to start a small business is nothing to them. Why would they need money back? Even $1 million to a billionaire is nothing to them. They make it back on interest alone. Yep. Yeah. You can't take the money with you when you go. Nope. Set your kids up to do what? Become shitty human beings? Because that's what most of the most wealthy kids who never really have to work for anything become. That's what most wealthy people become. Hello. You're not setting them up to be successful. They don't have to do any work to be successful when they have a lot of money. Yes, you am. Yes, you am what? You excited about the US World Cup game today? No. I'm not excited about the World Cup at all. I think I think the United States should boycott the World Cup. When I say college fun, I mean to a state university, not a prestigious university or an Ivy. Yeah. I got you. I think the idea of making sure your kids never have to worry about money is probably one of the most selfish things that you can do. My ex-husband was a trust fund baby and it ruined my marriage. Yeah. I think there is nothing more destructive. There has been nothing more destructive to this country, to society as a whole in the world than wealth. And the idea of making enough to make it so your kids and your kids' kids never have to worry about money. You mean my mother who passed away? I know you think you're being funny, but, you know, explains a lot. Oh, I mean, probably of shame. No, of Parkinson's disease. I know you think you guys think you're being funny, but you literally are making my point. Oh, did the words hurt you? No, they didn't. I would have to respect your view of me for them to hurt me. But they do show everyone in chat what kind of an asshole you are, which, you know, I'm okay with. I can tell. You're proud of it? Wow. All right. Really weird thing to be proud of. Do you understand that we're at a point now where people are coming on and going, yeah, I'm an asshole. I'm proud of it. I'm so cool. Look at me. I can be a dick to anybody I want. Woo! So great. Life is good? Okay. Uh-huh. There it is. This king size bed is comfy. Uh-huh. Okay. Congratulations. Guys, you can only buy a king size bed if life is good. The only reason. I bet it has bed bugs. Is a king size bed a brag? I guess so. I guess so. Yep, a king size bed is how you know you made it.
Guys, I got a king size bed. That means I made it. You know what I do in that king size bed, right?
Are we really talking about mattresses? We didn't bring it up. Somebody else did. We're talking about how a different person used the fact that they have a king size bed as a flex. Is there? What do you mean? For other people? Yeah, I do it with other people. I have a king, but it's 24 years old. Am I rich? Yeah, probably. Again, there is yourself and there is society. Yeah, I remove people. I find oftentimes they just leave on their own and don't come back. Some do, but I try not to do it as much as I can because it does affect the algorithm. Your bedroom is big enough, mine isn't. Jesus was laid in a manger. He doesn't think it's a fleck to have a king-size bed. I mean, they slept on the friggin' floor most of the time. Most of the people back in Jesus' time slept on the floor. Jeez. You didn't sleep on beds, per se. They slept on some hay on the ground with something over it. Again, it's like, we can sit here. I just struggle with the lack of humanity in society. So are we reconciling war today or getting ready to spend the weekend golfing poorly? Oh, I'm sure he's going to end up golfing poorly. Because I'm pretty sure that it is already... I've been told by people that he's already rejected the most recent terms that have come forth. Yeah. Trump says Iran's version of peace deal has no relation to the truth. So, yeah. We're not close. He lied. He said we were close, and we weren't close. This is a complete lie. And again, what I think is happening is people are selling off their futures because they know that the price is going to go up soon because of how much quantity we have of oil around the country, like in like how much supply we have, and it's going to skyrocket. So people are going to start buying massively. And the spot price is then going to be way different than the futures price, like way different, more than it already is. Bad guess? It's not a guess. It's what many oil experts and oil CEOs have said. Like, I'm not making this shit up. Now, again, can things happen that could change everything? Of course they can. But it's not a guess. This administration has emptied more of the strategic reserve in 1 month than has ever been done by any president in 1 month. Ever. Strategic reserves around the country are lower than they ever have been. Did you see the valuation of the SpaceX IPO? It's insane. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's all wild. It's all wild now. Anyone who buys into that is... Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Mission. Thank you, Gen X. Morning. But yeah, it's not surprising that the 39th claim was a false claim. There's no surprise there. None. Not even a little bit. Not a surprise at all. We knew it was. We already knew it was. If you looked at the 14-point memorandum of understanding that Iran gave them, you knew it wasn't going to go through. Because it involved $300 billion of rebuilding spending by us, $25 billion given to them that is being held because of sanctions. That alone. I mean, he's right that it's a non-starter. Trump is right that it's a non-starter. Thank you, Mission. Oh, you're good, Swift. Because Iran knows that they've got all the power. Iran knows it. We know it. It does not matter what ends up happening. It does not change the fact that Iran owns the Strait of Hormuz. No, for long. For ever. As long as Iran exists. And Iran has existed longer than the United States. Just wanted to share an observation about London/US, etc. That's relevant to us generally, not a big deal. If you want to come up, Swift. Iran as a whole has lasted longer than the US. 2 days. You think 2 days? Okay. Good luck with that. A mountain has lasted longer, so what? A mountain isn't a civilization or a society. Mountains aren't people. Hey man from the West, how are you doing? Can't believe we got to a point where we have to tell people that people aren't mountains. I know, right? Hey, Frodo. Hey, Verdant. Oh, someone get angry. No, no. Okay. I don't accept requests from people I don't know.
Hello.
Hello.
So I just wanted to share a little something. I don't know if anyone cares, but it was an observation I made in London a couple weeks ago about the US and whatever. I first, I know they're not an oasis. I know there's a lot of issues in England. There's a lot of issues everywhere. Not saying they're perfect or anything, but there was a general level of respect and kindness in their society that I didn't necessarily expect to find. Going from a big city, I live in New York City, to another big city, I thought it would be kind of similar. But as a system, as a government, as people, it was unbelievably different. Um, have you been there before?
I have not been to London before, no.
Okay. Or England at all?
I've
Because I
only
don't
been
know
to
if
the
it's
airport.
outside.
I've been to Europe, just not I've been out at England. Thank you, Linda.
Yeah. Well, it's so two parts because one, I am disabled, so I just want to speak about how vastly different I was treated there. But the other thing is just a general thing. Like we were on a train, it was 45 minutes late. I don't mean a tube, I mean a commuter rail. And they not only, were nicely apologized, which is rare. We don't hear that here in New York, but you can get a refund on not only your missed, if you have any missed connections, your current ticket, and if you had missed a show or something. If you prove it, they will actually give you a partial refund. I got 45 pounds back on a $460 round trip family trip. It's just a gesture, it's the we're so sorry we wasted your time thing
Yeah.
that is really made an impression. Of course, everything was clean. I wasn't just in tourist places either. But as a disabled person, it was really different. Every restaurant asks about food allergies before you sit down. I don't have any, but I've heard that and then they actually make good food. They don't give you some crusty, frozen whatever from the back, which a lot of times happens here. Um, when I was in my wheelchair, I was not infantilized. I wasn't looked down upon. People come up to you to offer help, and not in a gross way, because that's often offensive, which that's another story. But, you go into a museum and they're like, hey, what can I get for you? Would you like me to bring you to the exhibits? Do you need an explainer? Do you need this?
Mm,
It was wild. And a museum's a little different, but still.
yeah.
um, I it was wild. They have a lot of trouble with accessibility and whatnot, but they really try. And we're here trying to get rid of Social Security, which does pay for most or a lot of a disabled community in the US of all ages, from babies to elderly, and often gets forgotten. I don't know. It was just like we could do so much better. I actually got really kind of upset and sad one day because I'm going back to a place where my own building isn't accessible. I can't roll my wheelchair out
Mm,
and I can't move to another building. It's like I don't
yeah.
know. It was a lot, but everyone's attitudes were just a little bit. It was a different level, and I really wish we could get there. I don't know if we ever were, honestly. And I some people say like, oh, the middle of the country's different. You live in New York City, Of course, everyone's terrible. They're not terrible here. They're very kind here. But we work with what we've got, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
think I mean, like I said, I've been to Germany, Austria, places like that, and yeah, I mean, there are obvious differences. I think what we're dealing with is, I think the thing that we need to remind ourselves a lot of times, and again, it seems obvious, but when you're experiencing what we're experiencing here, I think it feels it feels worse almost because there are things to compare it to.
Mm.
I think we forget sometimes that, like, in terms of where we are at in comparison, we're still young as a country. Like Europe, they've gone through everything that we've gone through. To some extent, they're still going through it a little bit, but they're like, they've gone through a lot of these things because their societies have been around a lot longer than ours have. And it's not an excuse. We need to keep fighting. We are not, I mean, there are definitely people in this country that are not. Unfortunately, this administration is, in my opinion, a mirror to what probably I'd say at minimum a third of the country is, in some way, shape, or form. It being online can make it feel more or less than that, depending on what part of the country you live in, depending on what algorithm you were with, depending on a lot of different things. There's a lot of problems. New York City in many ways is great. That doesn't mean New York City doesn't have a lot of problems. And, you know, the one thing I've always appreciated about Zohran Mamdani is the fact that he is not shying away from the bad stuff that's going on in New York City. He wants to help fix it. And it's, again, fixing some of these problems is going to be painful. It's not going to be, it's no problem that has been ignored for as long as the problems in this country have been
Yeah.
dealing with is going to be fixed with a snap of a finger. How is he going to fix it? Make it capitalism? No. Capitalism doesn't fix it. Capitalism is the reason that we are dealing with most of the problems that we're dealing with, especially unregulated capitalism. No, go.
I see a few people saying like, oh, it's just the current administration or we'll get back, not being rude to you or anything, but at least the disabled part and the general everyone wanting to help each other, I have never seen in my life. And as a disabled person, I've been in various places of this country on a scooter because I couldn't get a wheelchair, and a wheelchair now, and with an invisible illness. And everyone that has been in that position knows how horrific it is often. I mean, I've had people in a store get right in front of me for an elevator and then shut the door in my face with no one else in the elevator for no reason. Like,
Yep.
insane behavior. Never mind the subtle things, you know.
Yeah.
Mondani is doing great. I can tell you in New York City, generally, we are thrilled. He's doing a lot of smaller things you may not hear about, but are really helping communities.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So far, so
I mean,
I haven't seen a mayor do this much I've lived here since 94. I'm not sure if the mayor has done this much for 25, 30 years.
we are fighting against this idea of individualism in this country that, you know, we haven't had, you know, universal health care. We haven't had all of these things that a lot of other countries have that are just set up to help everybody. So again, that doesn't mean that they don't have problems, but they, at least to some extent, have grown up with this idea of helping everyone. Universal healthcare absolutely does work. You obviously haven't been to Canada. Again, is it perfect? No, nothing's perfect, but that's a dumb statement. As a lot of people that are in this community are from Canada, they will tell you it works just fine. It works way better than our current system works.
And not for nothing, a very minor example of that, to get a wheelchair approved by Medicare here, I had to prove, and my doctors had to prove, that I couldn't walk to the restroom in my own home. That was the bar to get it covered. meaning you don't deserve to go out of your house. Like I can get to the restroom, thankfully, but I couldn't get the 5 blocks to my kid's school, you know, or to playground to bring them when they were little. Like I would like to do that. I would like to participate in life like everyone else. But the standard was insane. And my friends in the UK that have mobility devices, basically it's a note from the doctor, a little bit of a wait sometimes. They also get some housing, they also get cars sometimes. I mean, there's all different situations, obviously it's individual. But I
Yeah.
mean, we're not even comparing anything close, even with all of the faults they have.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, just wanted to, it was sad, but I know we could be that. I don't know if it's in our lifetime, but I know so many good people. You know, we all do. So hopefully things
If
get
they
better.
would stop making our country sick, we wouldn't need universal health care. People are never going to stop getting sick. What kind of a dumb statement is that? People are always going to get sick. Always.
When I got sick, I was 21, working a minimum 15 hours a day, going out, fit, like living my best life, working so hard and doing great. So yeah,
Stop
we don't.
making our food and water toxic is what I'm saying. I'm saying that doesn't matter. That's the part you're not getting. None of that matters. We will always need universal health care. Universal health care would prevent us from having to associate a job with our ability to get health care. We wouldn't have to keep working in a horrible job just to get health care for our family. Universal health care would make affordable health care for everybody, as opposed to losing. We are the sickest country. Yeah, because our healthcare system sucks. Because people avoid going to the doctors when they should. No, it is not because of toxic food and water. That's a dumb statement. It's because we avoid going to the doctors when we should because it costs so much freaking money. We're worried to death that they're going to find something. And then our insurance isn't going to cover it. Or even if it does cover it, they only cover a little bit of it. And the rest is going to have to be covered by us because we've got $10,000 freaking deductibles. That's why. Not because of toxic food and water. Give me a break. And hi, Di.
On that incredibly ableist note, I'm going to go.
Okay.
But thank you for listening, everybody. Thank you, Mike.
Yep, of course.
All right, bye.
Bye. People are paying thousands upon thousands of dollars a month in some cases, or a year, just to have the insurance. And that insurance is still going to require you to pay thousands upon thousands more if doctors find anything. So people avoid going to the doctors because they are worried they're going to find something. I got Parkinson's disease. What did I do to get that? And yet I know I'm going to have to pay extra. No one trusts the doctors. They haven't for years. Who doesn't trust the doctors? I trust the doctors. Do I expect the doctors to be perfect and never get it wrong? No, but of course I trust doctors. What kind of planet do you live on?
Good morning.
Hey, Di.
Hey. I was just thinking, like, people don't trust the doctors. Like, that goes all the way back to the Egyptians, doesn't it?
Probably.
I mean, right? Or the Druids. They're like, you're not going to take this tooth, forget you, and your head's cut off.
You just don't trust people who say things that don't make sense to you. Which
I
is
think that's
going to be most of the world, which is why you probably trust nothing. Someone says something that makes sense to your brain because you don't actually understand how things work. And you go, oh, that must be the case. So you just see people getting sick and someone says, oh, that's because the water and the food are all toxic. And you go, oh, see, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So now all the food and water is toxic. We do everything holistic and we are never sick. Sure, you're not. Sure, you're not. Must be nice to be
It's expensive. It's like you got to have your own field and grow your own vegetables. Like, I mean, I appreciate and enjoy the Amish, but I'm not one of them, you know?
So is your healthcare system failing you? There's a lot of things that are failing us.
Amen to that.
The fact that we have that private insurance is how we do things is failing us. The fact that our government doesn't care about most people are failing us. The fact that capitalism runs everything is failing us. Not holistic doctors. They tried to get to the root cause of things and actually heal things.
Is this a bot?
No, it's someone who doesn't realize their own privilege.
Ow, yikes.
Like, oh gosh.
I think that it's cool that we at least have the Affordable Care Act for some pieces of it, for sure. But you're absolutely right. I mean, who wants to go to the doctor and then have a $10,000 debt? That happened to me actually when I know it's anecdotal, but when I was younger, obviously. But when I was younger and I had some medical problems, I waited and waited and waited because I didn't have insurance. And so I was like, oh shit, what am I going to do? And so finally my mom convinced me to go to the doctor and they're like, yeah, you need surgery. And then it took like 5 years of constant like bill collectors to eventually just be like, fine, take my credit card because I don't want to be hassled anymore. And then now, boom, my credit card's almost maxed out. And then it took another 5 years to pay that down because you're only paying the interest. It's a nightmare for people who aren't rich, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Should I pay you for therapy right now? Because that was very helpful. Here's a tenner.
Yeah. Natural does not always mean healthy.
Oh, so true. That's really true.
Mm-hmm. And again, do I blame you for having food that has less chemicals on it? No. I think that's great that you're able to do that. But don't pretend that that's something that everyone has the capability of doing. And don't pretend that medicine, doctors have not made it possible for people to live decades longer than they used to.
I think that that's one of the things I wish we had more of in our school system, right? Like we've got civics, everybody's forgotten that. But what about health? I worry sometimes that people don't even have basic understanding of how, exercise and eating things that are okay and why you want to do that. I wish we had more of an emphasis on that.
But it's not even just that. The fact is people can't afford that kind of stuff. Like the reason people eat the quote unquote less healthier things as a whole is because that's what they can afford to eat. Vegetables, fruits and vegetables are skyrocketing. We grow all our own food and go to farmers market. Well, that's a great.
That's expensive.
Not to mention how many millions of people live in apartments. Do you think everyone can grow their own food?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Extremely cheap. No, it's not.
Well,
It is
I
not
think,
extremely cheap to grow your own food or go to a farmer's market. It is not.
and actually, you could be in a zone violation if you try to do that, quite frankly.
The farmers markets that I have gone to, which aren't close to me, are way more expensive
Hmm.
than the supermarkets.
I would agree
Way
with that.
more.
Yep.
Does that mean I didn't buy some stuff from them? No, of course I did. But don't pretend that it's cheaper. It's not.
It really isn't. It really isn't. I remember, here's another anecdotal story, all right? I remember when my hubs and I were first starting to get to know each other, his family had a house and he's like, "Oh, look at this." And I saw the backyard. I'm like, "Let's do a garden. Let's grow our own food. That'd be great." But I was working 2 jobs. So I was like, "Can you go get some seeds for the garden?" Because he was on break. So he goes and then puts all the seeds in. And I'm like getting ready to go to my second job. I just could swing by because I didn't have a car. I was walking. So walking around and I'm like, "Oh, look at that. That's amazing. So what'd you plant?" And it was this huge piece of land. And he's like, "Green beans." And I said, "All right. Well, and what about the other stuff?" And he's like, "I just got green beans." We had a field of green beans for like 2 weeks. It was just like green bean hell because I'm like, I can't even eat green beans anymore. And I was like, "Why just get one?" And he's like, "I don't know what I'm doing."
Well, I mean, and again, so I live in a place like Peeps for Peace does where it's a lot of clay. So I
Oh,
gotta
right.
get soil. I gotta get a lot of things. We're going through a drought where I am, and they're
Hmm.
talking about water limiting the amount of water that we can use, and the price of water going up. Like they're trying to increase the cost to us of water around here by 40% over the next year.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
So again, you can sit here and say, "Oh, it's so much cheaper." It's not. And it's not like if some years is it maybe a little bit cheaper? Maybe. Especially if you already have all of the stuff in your garden that you need. But for people that don't have one, it's not cheaper. You're
mm-mm.
spending a lot to start that garden. Especially if you live in a place like I do where it's clay.
Absolutely. I had a dear friend who did a decent garden, like a real one, not just green beans. And she loved it, but she said it was so expensive. She turned it into a flower garden because it was just too expensive to maintain it and keep it. So she lost a lot of money, but was like, "Fine, let's just put flowers in there."
But again, even community gardens, we're going through a drought here, like a massive drought, like 95 plus. We are
My
15 inches short on rain around where I am.
my gosh.
There are places in the West where they're saying, please, already saying, wear your clothes for 3 days before washing them to save water.
Really? That's crazy. I'm gonna send you some water so you can do your laundry.
We're
All
fine
right.
right now. I'm just saying there is a lot of like when people come in and say, "Oh, it's just easy. It's just easy to do. It's just easy to do this." It's not. It's not for most people. Everyone that lives in an apartment can't do it.
Mhm.
Everyone that lives in most people that live in like townhouses can't do it. I've barely got land behind my house, like barely.
Mhm.
You cannot do a limited garden in apartments. Condos or townhomes, maybe you could do a tiny one.
Yeah, an HOA.
Why not? How could you do a garden inside your apartment
Oh my gosh.
or by the window? You could grow herbs. You couldn't grow anything that would actually do anything, and most of the apartments are like, a lot of apartments are like, we got a lot of like studio apartments. You can still garden, not to save money. You think the problem with you think the problem with survival is herbs? No, it's not anything. It's herbs. Not to mention, you have to buy the stuff still.
Mm-hmm. I saw that there's like a lettuce kit out there where you can be like hydroponic and then you can grow like 20 different kinds of lettuce. And it's like, all right, great. So 2 days worth of lettuce. Now what are we going to do? We're going to wait another 6 months. What we're going to do?
You ever seen an arrow garden? Arrow gardens still cost money. That all still costs money. It all costs money.
It certainly does.
It's not a hard fucking question. I don't even know what question you asked.
Mm-mm.
West Coast? All over. I'm on the East Coast and I'm dealing with drought. Almost the entire West Coast is dealing with drought.
Yeah, I'm worried about fires this summer. Forage for nuts and berries. I know you're just kidding. Because that's crazy talk.
I'm on the left. What? I think a lot of people on the left are the ones that are saying, look, this isn't a left, right, et cetera, et cetera. This is we need to stop just putting a blanket statement on things.
Mm-hmm. It seems like people try to make gardens political, Jamie, in my humble opinion. They try to do that. Like, who remembers the quote unquote egg shortage that was going on, right? That we had, we're like, oh, we've got no eggs, right? And that was what the election was about, allegedly. Well, there was a couple here, just regular people, and they're like, well, we're going to get a chicken coop and some roosters and stuff. And it cost so much money that they only had like half. And we asked them, we're like, how are the eggs? And they're like, they're not even laying the eggs because they're all stressed out. So, I mean, again, it's like, what do you want? $25,000 in order to get your chicken started? I also hate chickens. We had a chicken coop. So I don't know if that came through. I was growing up on the farm.
And again, it's no farmers market I have ever gone to has had great deals on fresh veggies. Sorry, it hasn't. And if you have gotten it, great. Gas is down by you. No, it's not.
No.
It's not down from the start of the war. Is it down from when it was like a month ago? Sure.
Mm.
But it's not down from when the war started. And again, everyone's got different experiences, and that's fine. That's acceptable. We just need to be careful in the way we talk. It is not but during, yes. Well, that doesn't mean anything. Unless it's lower than what it was before the war, then it's not actually better.
So I live in, I don't know if you realize this or not, probably everybody does, but I live in the Midwest, right? So when you're talking about the farmers markets, we've got them all over the place. I mean, we don't have People or Burger King, but we've got the farmers markets everywhere. And it doesn't matter which corner you go to, and they're running all day too. That's expensive. That's expensive, and it's expensive because our farmers are out there in these like, well, we can't use chemicals, we can't use anything, everything has to be organic. And so it's like they basically just stand next to the crop and make sure nothing touches it. So it's still super, super expensive. And
Uh,
then there's nothing
yeah.
like the Donner Party winner.
If I paid $4.60 2 months ago and now pay $4.04, that is objectively better. No, it's not. Not if neither one is sustainable for you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
not when it was, what, sub $3 probably pre-war? Not when it's already been shown that it's going to swing probably, it's probably going to go like up massively
Oh, yeah.
in the next 4 weeks, according to almost everybody except this administration.
Ooh, Mr. Global's a good resource.
Mr. Global, the friggin' gas CEOs have talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right now, it's better than it was months ago.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
If the problem isn't fixed, it's not actually better.
Absolutely.
If the reason it went up isn't gone away, it's not actually better. People selling gas futures and making millions of dollars because Trump is manipulating the market is not better. Because the problem still exists. The problem is not the gas prices being high. That's a result of the problem. The problem is we started a war we couldn't win and caused the place where 20% of oil and in some cases 90+% of other products go through to close. It is a war. It absolutely is a war.
It is. It is. It is. Listen, you know, when you take your troops and you put them over there, that's like
A blockade by its very nature is an act of war.
I still wonder how we got to a point where our military was like, all right, dude, we'll go over and do some stuff. I mean, how did we get to a point where they weren't paying attention to this incredibly important piece of land, right?
Yeah. The
How
president
did,
not calling it a war just so he doesn't have to go to Congress does not make it not a war. That's called a technicality. It doesn't change the fact that it's a war.
well, and it's a war powers violation if he doesn't go to Congress and get those labels. So he's like in the red zone right now. I should do a post on the War Powers Act.
Yeah.
I
You
should,
should.
man.
You
I
should.
could use like My Little Ponies and be like, if you start a war.
Plus, he has called it a war many times. Yes, and so have many other people. Not
And he's been sued for defamation too. I just want to remind everybody that.
Rubio and Hegseth both. Yep. Because again, a blockade is an act of war. The fact that they attacked water facilities is arguably an act of war. It's a war. It's literally a war crime.
Yep. It absolutely is. We're going down a scary road here.
You can sit here and pretend that you don't believe it's a war all you want, so you can feel free to justify it. It doesn't change the fact that it is.
I do wonder though, with all the tacoing that's going on, at what point is it final where we're like, we just got to get out of there? And I keep thinking to myself of what was going on in Vietnam and how people were like, when are we bringing the troops home, or Afghanistan?
It'll happen around the crash, because there's
You
gonna
think
be.
so?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my right now he's able to manipulate the market because
Mhm.
there's still enough in storage in supply worldwide that they're able to slow down. They've been able to prevent they've been able to hide the problems that we're dealing with. But
Right.
once those, once the supplies are near gone, which worldwide they're at historic lows already,
Mhm.
and then we start having disruptions when refineries go down for maintenance, when refineries get damaged, when whole sections of the country deal with things like hurricanes or whatever, or flooding, or tornadoes, or all the other things that can happen, and we realize that there's a disruption and we don't have the protection of the supply of the reserve to help buffet it anymore. You're going to see it. You're going to see it just go absolutely crazy. Jelly, I would normally say yes, and if you want to come back on Monday and talk about it, I would love to. I actually need to get off. I've got an interview that I've got to get ready for. I got to get some food before I do it. Because I keep going later than 12 because we've always got so much to talk about, but technically I'm supposed to be done. So normally I would say yes, and I would love to bring you up and have you talk about that on Monday. Di, always love having you up, and
thanks for having me.
if you haven't watched the 2 episodes that Di and I did together over on the Tube, we talk about the Declaration of Independence, and we compare what they talk about in it to what's going on now. It's a really cool interview. It'll say a different podcast name because I changed names from then, but please go and watch it, share it with people. These are again, there's a lot of cool things going on in this podcast that I would love to keep doing this, and I would love to be able to get to a point where I can do this full time and have it be able to support support what I do. So any help you guys can do by watching and sharing the content, or if you have the capability to support financially, I understand that it's hard right now, so know that I'm no expectations ever. But any help is appreciated. I will see you guys on Monday. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Hopefully nothing too crazy happens. But we'll see, and we'll talk about it on Monday. Yeah, if you don't follow Di, also make sure you go follow Di. She's awesome.
Yay.
You guys are amazing, just the way you are, and I love you all very much. Stay safe, stay healthy. Remember to sing, laugh, dance, smile. Do something that makes you happy. Bye, guys.
Bye.